What is up, guys? AmusementDark here, and before you say anything, I know this is an Anime Academia, and that I probably shouldn't be doing reviews on this channel, because I have a review channel, but this is, that's more for, like, big, heavily edited, like, a day's worth of editing, writing scripts, while this is more unscripted, just takes a little bit of planning, some time to get some composure. This is similar to Kukalan's reviews, I suppose, would be the best way to say. But yeah, so let's get right into this episode. I'm gonna talk a little bit about it now and a little bit more later. But let's begin with Chiaki's execution. It's the worst thing we've seen in Danganronpa. While the other executions have been lighthearted because it's just like a minute and it's really weird, and you know, it's just like all we hear is the amazing execution music or like some variant of it. And then you know, it tends to be related to the talent, but really weird, and then something really weird happens, like with the second execution of Mondo. You know, he gets turned into butter at the end, and then Monokuma starts using said butter for pancakes or something. You know, like that's funny, but also fucking weird. But this was a straight up torture. Chiaki's just going through a death maze, like death dungeon, like it's some game. And unlike the rest, it's not stylized like the executions. It's in the normal anime look. And, you know, we hear every scream she makes, and she's just slowly getting various injuries all over her. And it's just so soul-crushing and heart-crushing and all that. And I couldn't stand it. But, you know, let's we'll get more onto that at the end of the video. For now, let's move to the beginning of the episode, what does involve Chiaki. So the beginning, you know, Chiaki and Chisa, who's being despaired, that works. Anyway, she fell into despair, basically. You know, we see Chisa and them walking, and Chiaki's like, are you sure this is the right way, sensei? And, you know, she turns around and she's like, we need to, you know, she says, yes, I'm sure this is. And, you know, she goes, are you worried, sort of thing. And then it's like, says this ominous line about how we need to fix the class rep's face. And I really don't like that. That was ominous as fuck, okay? There's no other way to describe it other than ominous as fuck. But no, so, you know, they continue walking, and then in the meantime we see, you know, we see the rest of class 77. We see Mikon trying to catch up, and she's like, wait, please wait. And then they ask where Chiaki is, and she said, oh, Chiaki sprained her ankle, she's in a room a little bit back. And then they're like, oh, well done, you know, for that's good of you, super high school level nurse, or ultimate nurse, or whatever you want to call it. And then, you know, Hayuko, I forget her name, the ultimate the ultimate dancer girl. Anyway, she's like, oh, even like, I forget what she says, but I think in the official translation by Funimation, or the second one I watched, she's like, oh, even a punky pig or plunky pig can be useful sometimes, I suppose. But, you know, and then, you know, Soda complains about how why don't we leave Kamaeda in there, / Nagito. I'm probably gonna call him Nagito. And then Teru's like, oh, if you want, I'll carry him, he's within my strike zone. Soda's like, for what? And then, you know, it zooms in on Teru being like, my strike zone is, and then he gets fucking hit in the face and sent flying by some dwarf that just came from the wall. And then we see some lights. I forget the colors, but I know two were blue, I think one was red and one was yellow. And it's we get the most amazing soda face yet, where he's just like, oh my god, what the fuck? And then it's fucking Gundam and Neko Gahara. Neko Gahara, I think that's how you say his name. Anyway, so, we see him, and then, everyone's like, yay, you're back, and then they, Ibuki and everyone's like, hell yeah, now we just need to save Sensei. Instructor Yukazome, as they call her in the translation. Well, I don't like it, but, so yeah. They continue walking, and then in the meantime, we see them find a red door, and they open it, and then we see Chiaki and Chisa find a red door. Now, these aren't leading to the same place. The one that the 77th class found leads into the courtroom, and I'm pretty sure this is the courtroom that ends up being the one used in Danganronpa 1. It looks exactly the same. It's all fancy, and there's a Monokuma stuffed toy on, like, the sort of throne thing. I don't know how else to describe it. But, yeah. So, we see the Monokuma, we see the courtroom, and I'm just like, oh my god, that's neat. And then, they stay there for the rest of the episode. In the meantime, Chiaki and Chisa found a red door leading to an elevator, and then Chisa presses the button to call the elevator, and then she goes in for a hug on Chiaki, and Chisa then goes to say, it's because of you that everyone's become such a great class and all this. It's because of you that they stay together while I was gone in the reserve course, and that Chiaki is that, like, she's thanking Chiaki so much for this. And then she pushes Chiaki into the elevator, closes it. Chiaki's like, Sensei? But, she's like, Yukazome Sensei? Or whatever you want to say. And, it slowly pans up Chisa, and she's like, you are their hope, I think it was she said. That's why you've been chosen. I know it was, that's why you've been chosen. I forget the bit she said before that. But as she says, that's why you've been chosen, we just get to see her face, and she has the despair eyes. You know what I'm talking about. The eyes that Junko had when she was about to press the button to execute herself. I think these are the eyes you get when you're in true despair, because we also see them later on. But, we see them on Chisa, and she sends Chiaki down to her death, essentially. And then, so the next thing is, the execution, really. That's the next important thing. It's just most of the episode, and it's just so bad again. She's walking along, she's already been cut by something, and then we see she's, we see her get her foot stabbed, we see Swords trying to kill her, she dodges though, some like scythe shuriken thing almost hits her, and we end up seeing her fucking, her being getting hanged by like her hoodie. She rips that, continues on, she gets past, the boulders, and then she sees a door with goal written on it, in like gold. And the second I saw that, I was like, no, don't tell me Izuru's behind there, and he's like the final boss of this level. Please do not tell me Izuru is behind there. I was just hoping to God he wasn't. And, he was. He wasn't the one that killed her, at least. She opens the door to see a illusion of the 77th class, and Chisa's like, welcome back. She reaches for her hand, and then Chisa fades away, and a spike goes right through her, and then she falls down, and then several hundred not 100, but at least like a couple dozen, I'd say, spikes come out of the ground and stab Chiaki. In the meantime, the 77th class, the rest of them, have been watching this, and are now, like, have the despair eyes, and they're crying, and all this. And then we see the birth of the Nagito we know in Super Danganronpa 2. Or Danganronpa 2, whatever you want to call it. You know, the super hard-on for hope guy. He's like, wow, such despair. And, he says that Chiaki is a stepping stone for their hope. And it's just, like, the birth of Nagito as we knew him in the game. And it's just, oh my god, it's just crazy. Anyway, I forgot to mention this, but, the Juzo slash Sakakura, I'm gonna refer to him as Sakakura, and, Junko, like, fight. We don't see it, but we see the aftermath. He's taken out several, like, at least nearly 100 reserve corps kids or something. At least 50, I'd say, maybe. He's took out a lot, basically. And he's lying on the ground. He's seemingly been defeated by Junko. And Junko's like, I didn't even have to use your weakness. And then he's like, what? And then she reveals that Sakakura is in fact in love with Munakata. Now, there were hints dropped for this, but in Zetsubou Hen there were a lot of more hints that seemingly seemed like that was a weird sentence, but they seemed like he was in love with Chisa. But no, he is in fact gay for Munakata. What, it's, I mean, just going to Mirai Hen quickly. Hey, at least he got penetrated by Munakata's hot, long sword that stabbed him in the chest. Sorry, I had to say that. But yeah, at least he got penetrated by the one he loved before he died. God damn it, me. I'm so fucking rude. Anyway, so, back to that, she, to not reveal his love for Munakata, Junko says that, Sakakura has to report to, Munakata that Junko is innocent. And, he's like, okay, I'll do it. And, she, like, starts grinding her heel into his head, saying, you better say, please let me do it, bitch. And, he says that, and then she walks off and calls him an appetizer, and that was a good line, but I don't have time to say that. I don't want to have, like, a 2-hour video of how much amazingness this thing was. So the next thing is simply, he, screams, and he, like, bashes his hand into the ground, it breaks some of the thing, and then he starts bleeding from his hand. And then that's where we cut over to the soda scene. Well, by the way, the soda face, and just that little bit, is the only light-hearted bit in this entire episode, I would say. And my favourite bit of the episode, because it's just dark as fuck. Anyway, the next thing, all we have left is, to talk about Junko's little speech, where seemingly it seems like this episode happens after Danganronpa 0, what's a book that you should read. If you haven't, it will help explain some things that happened after the tragedy and before this episode, it seemed, because she was like, now you know the despair of having someone you love killed. And yeah, and then we see the birth of Nagito. Anyway, the final scene that we see is Izuru walks up to Chiaki after she's been stabbed and the spikes have gone down. Seemingly she's still alive. And she starts to talk to Izuru. She's like, Hinata-kun, And then Izuru's just like, is that who I was before? And then she's like, oh, so you don't remember? And he's like, my memories of before who I am now were completely erased, like, who I was before got completely erased memories-wise. And, Chiaki says, so you don't remember and that sort of thing, and she's trying to get up to, like, I don't know, like, just to help him in some way or form. And, Izuru's just watching and staring at this girl who's been stabbed hot and is about to die, just trying to get up to do something to help him. And he can't understand it, seemingly. Or at least that's what I think. Is that he can't understand why this Chiaki's doing this. And so he just simply questions it and, like, asks why she would go this far. And she responds with, because I love all my classmates. And I think it's also sort of implying that she does love Hajime / Hinata, whatever you want to call him. I don't know, I switch how I refer to him all the time. But yeah, and Izuru's just standing there. She goes to reach her arm out to Izuru, and she's like, one more time. I wanted to play video games with you, Hinata-kun. And then she dies, and her hairpin of the spaceship falls out, and it's on the floor as her blood is, like, underneath it and all that. And then Izuru goes to pick up the hairpin, and, we see some blood on his hands, and we see, him holding it. And then it goes up on his face, and we see Izuru crying. Tears are coming out of his eyes. He's crying. The rest of his face is completely normal, though. And then, he goes and puts his hand on his face, and he's like, huh? And that's the end of the episode. That's where they end it. And this implies that Hajime never got completely removed from Izuru, and that my theory of Izuru and Hajime being two separate personalities now within their shared body, kind of like Genocider, but they're both conscious at the same time. Or at the very least, Izuru did get his memories of being Hajime Hinata back at the end of Danganronpa 2, and because the last time we actually saw him in Mirai Hen, the only time in fact, other than the flashback in episode 3 with Naegi finding him in the 77th classroom, I would presume, but is only one eye is shown being red. So a lot of people like the other eye might be yellow, like Hajime's, and like they share personalities. They share the same body, and there's two personalities now. I'm not sure about that, but I would like that. But I think it'd be cool if he had one red and one yellow eye. But at the very least, it does seem like Izuru has recovered some of his emotions and memories of him being Hajime Hinata at the end of Danganronpa 2. And next Mirai Hen episode, it does seem like we are going to see a more focused episode on him, or at least I hope. That seems to be what they're implying with the two cliffhangers of Jabberwock we've seen so far. Other than that, now that I think about it, sorry if there's a weird echo, there's a broken radiator next to me. I think that will fix it. I've moved a bit away. Anyway, now that I think about it, Izuru hasn't done shit he's just watched, you know? Like, he's just sat there watching everything. The only thing he's really done is shoot Nagito and stop the guy that was trying to kill him with a chainsaw. And then he got killed by said chainsaw. But that's self-defense, and he probably knew that Nagito had the I forget what it was. I think it was his school handbook. But whatever it was, he had, like, something in his coat. I think it might have been a souvenir, I forget. But, you know, I think he knew that he had something there, and that's why he shot him. He might not have. I mean, it's hard to tell. But, you know, Izuru hasn't actually done anything, you know? He's just like, oh, look, he's so innocent, so adorable, so cute, while watching someone being penetrated by a chainsaw. That's great, you know, like, he just watched the guy get shredded. Fuck, man, that must have hurt. But no,